Hi everybody, happy Monday. Welcome to our week 4 in the Christmas Adventure Quilt Sew Along. This is a really fun week. This is what's putting the adventure in Christmas Adventure. This is our camper row this week. So we have a lot of fun to do. We have a busy video. We are going to just plow through this block. There's lots of pieces to it, but you can see that it kind of goes together like a puzzle. And it's really easy and fun to do. So super excited that you guys are here today. When you hop on, say hi. I'd love to see who's here. I see that Carrie's over on YouTube today. Hey Carrie, super glad you're over there. And we have Wendy from New Jersey over on Facebook. Oh, it's rainy, Wendy. Yikes. We have had crazy rain. In fact, you probably heard about, I don't know how much national news you watch. We don't really watch any, but there's some pretty bad flooding outside of Nashville, so lots of bad things there, but we were fortunately not under that much rain, so we're all good there. So that was hard this weekend. Teresa, hey, welcome Teresa. Hot and muggy. Yeah, that's what we have here today. We have the muggy, and I think all week we're gonna have kind of muggy weather, so hoping that's good house building weather. Seems like maybe it's easier to get things done even if it is hot and muggy outside, if it's not pouring rain. So this is what I'm telling myself. I am hopeful. Oh, hi Cynthia. Hi Allison. Welcome. Super glad you guys are here. We're going to plow through some fun stuff today. So just to kind of start you off, we are doing our camper blocks this week. This is what one of them looks like. There are 5 in the row. And I know that not everybody is a big camper person. I will be honest with you, I don't really love camping. I love vintage campers and how darling they are. And I would be willing to stay in one for a very short time if there was a bathroom and a shower available readily. But I do love taking trips at Christmas time. We love going to visit family and just going on road trips and adventure. So that's kind of what this whole collection's based on. But you might be a love to stay home at Christmas time person, and that's totally okay too. So I have a fun freebie for you guys this week. I designed a block that you can sub out the camper block if you want. This is a really sweet little house block. It is the exact same size as the camper block. So if you go ahead and make this one up, you will do everything else the same as far as the sashing, the row height, all of that is the same. You would just put this little house in place of the camper. And if you want, you could even use both. You could do like camper house, camper, or flip that, do 3 houses and 2 campers. It's just a fun option for you guys, and it's a freebie. So it's on the blog. I have it linked in today's video description, and you can pick it up and make whatever you would like out of it. Maybe you would make a cute little mug rug for a friend or something like that. You could do some fun with fussy cutting on both of these if you put cute little pictures inside the windows or on the door. You could even add some applique, or embroidery. If you put like a cute embroidery or a cute wreath on the door or something like that, you could do all kinds of things. Now I will say that with the house, I didn't take the time to factor in fabric differences. I think looking at the fabric, you would be pretty close to the same amount, but just beware if you change out for the houses, you might need to change out some fabrics later on. And especially I would probably stay away from the greens because we use so many of the greens in the trees. You're going to want to save as much of those as you can for those. But after this we have the house ornaments, and we have the presents, and then we have the trees at the bottom. I don't think I forgot a row. Let's look. Let's just look. Okay, so yes, campers, and then we'll do ornaments next week, which is going to be a very fun, fast row. Then we will go into our gifts and then our trees. So just kind of, if you would like to make the houses, look ahead and see what fabrics you think that you'll have leftovers of and make your houses out of that so that you don't run into anything short, especially if you are using the kit. if you are using fabric from your stash, then, you know, feel free to go wild and do whatever you'd like. So I just wanted you to know that's an option. I'm not sewing through the house today, but I do have a free PDF download of that on the blog. Again, linked in today's description. So if you would like to do that, and if you run into a problem, you can always email me, but it's pretty straightforward as far as putting it together. So it's an option. It's a choice. We like choices. So let's talk about giveaways, and then we are going to just dive into all the fun things. I have a sneak peek of something that I'm going to show you guys before we start our campers, and I know that's going to make today's video a little bit longer, so I hope you bear with me, and I hope you guys like fabric sneak peeks. This time it's my fabric, so I really can't wait to hear what you guys think of it. So that will be coming soon. Hey Sharon, you're not late. We're just chatting. It's all good. Carrie, are you flipping back and forth between the two? I feel like you're on Facebook now. You're going to add the houses into, oh, I'm so glad. And Leanne's sticking with the campers. And Allison's thinking houses for the quilt and camper pillows. Love that idea, Allison. That's super cute. Jan, thank you. I have a new sweater. You guys can't tell. I don't think you can tell. But these are ants and watermelon. Just feeling like, even though it's long sleeve, which I'm not sure why you would put ants and watermelon on a long sleeve sweater. Maybe it's meant for places that aren't muggy and hot. But I still like it. And I'm hoping that if I wear it today, then that will kind of make summer go away. I'm ready. It's time. Okay, so last week's giveaway was a really fun one. I have it all in this handy dandy little bag. So this is Pin Pals. This is Kelly Fannon's bag. She did a whole collection of really cute little punny sewing sayings. So this is her Pin Pals bag. I have one just like it that I use all the time for embroidery projects. It's really nice for keeping all the supplies in one place for something, but it also makes a really cute little gift bag. You know, if you had it to give to a friend and you wanted to put all kinds of little goodies in there, it would be really sweet that way. So let's look at the goodies inside. So what we have, and it's a really nice canvas. I like that too. I like sturdier bags. So anyway, kind of got random there with the bag. So I have 3 packages of Faith, Hope, and Love. This is Sue Daly's collection that's out right now. It's gorgeous, you guys. It's pinks and blues, navies, creams. It's really pretty. You can see all the different kind of colors. You won't be able to see really the prints, but look it up online, Faith, Hope, and Love. It's really a gorgeous collection. And to stay with the pink theme, I have Tula Pink unicorn head pins. These are so cute, you guys, and you get 30 pins, and of course bright pink. And then you also get a flamingo stiletto that is mine. These are great for using for pillows, bags, holding seams open, all that kind of stuff. You guys know I love my little stiletto. So that is all in the goodie bag for our lucky winner from last week. And if you haven't entered one of my giveaways before, they're super easy to enter. All you have to do is leave a comment on the video, and you can do that on Facebook or YouTube, and you can do it live or you can do it later in the week. You just need to do it the week before the next video. So really easy to enter. And for this quilt along, I'm doing extra entries. If you've already left a giveaway entry on the video, you can share extra photos of your progress on the quilt with, as long as you're using the hashtag and you tag me. If you're on Instagram, if you're in the Facebook group, I'll see those, so you don't have to tag me or anything. You're welcome to use the hashtag if you like. It's kind of fun. It's an easy way to sort the images if you want to do that. So those are extra entries. So you do have to leave the comment first, or I don't know. And if your Instagram name is something that is completely different than your Facebook name, you'll need to let me know that somehow or the other too, because I don't know who's who. If all you have is some random like quilter of Kansas, and I don't know who that is. So, so this is last week's giveaway, and our winner is Erin Hopkins. Erin, you're our winner from last week. Send me an email with your mailing address. I'm pretty sure I have it from the shop, but if you have moved or anything like that, send me an email. Well, either way, send me an email. But you're our winner this week, so yay, Erin! And I have a fun giveaway for this week too. So this week's giveaway, I thought we would take it back a collection to Stardust This is the other collection of mine that's out right now. Really fun, kind of vintagey, mid-century florals. There's flamingos. There's little glam glasses that might look familiar to you. So lots of fun, and it's a lighter colored collection, kind of pinks and aquas, and then there's some olive greens, and of course this mustard gold that I'm really obsessed with right now. And then so many of you have commented on my cute little cutting mat that I use in the videos that I went ahead and ordered you one. So I have, this is the Kimberly Cuts rotating cutting mat. It's a nice size. It's 5.5-inch square. It's just like the one I've been using in the videos. So it rotates, rotating. And it's really nice for saving your cutting mat that you use for all of your regular cutting. If you're doing a lot of stitch and flip blocks or half square triangles where you're having to do a lot of trimming, it's just really hard on your mat to be standing in one place and doing all those repeating cuts all over the place, all over, you know, in the same place. So this saves it. You're using a littler mat that's significantly less expensive than your big mat, and it's just nice to have a little mat like that. You can put it by your sewing table if you're doing a project that involves a lot of like cut, sew, or you could take it on a trip. So lots of options there. And it's also this really great like minty aqua color. More mint than aqua. Super cute. And I have one of my enamel charms for you guys. So this is the Quilt Shop. It is one of my Main Street shop series, so the Quilt Shop, and it has a really great gold lobster clasp. If you already have the Quilt Shop, you can change it out for any of my other enamel charms. I have a bookshop and a flower market and a needlework shop, and I have 2 new ones that are going to be here, I think next week. I'm not sure. Hopefully next week. And well, actually 3 new ones. One of them is an enamel charm that is one of my regular needle minders, one of my most popular ones, made into an enamel charm form. It'll be the first time that's been done. And then I have 2 new shops coming to Main Street. So I would love to know what you guys think they might be, or what shops you would like to see. Super fun. Hi, Claudia. Welcome. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Cheryl. So glad you're here. And everybody's super excited. Hi, Shirley. Yay for Aaron is right. All right. So that is this week's giveaway. If you want to enter, all you have to do is leave a comment and you will be entered. It's super easy to do. So let's talk about new things. This is not new, and I can't even open it up. It's so big. This is my Kaleidoscope Runner. You guys know I'm sewing along with Fat Quarter Shop for the runner. And you can see this is not a runner for the faint of heart. There it is. You can't even get it all on camera. But you can see how great it is. And I had said I was going to use it for a runner on my buffet. I think I've changed my mind. I think I'm actually going to use it for a bed runner. This will be my first bed runner quilt thing, but I really like the idea of putting this on a bed. In the new house, we're going to have a bigger bedroom for guests, and so there'll be a king bed in there. And so I'm thinking I am going to make up my vintage garden quilt with Stardust, put that on the bed, and then put this as a runner at the bottom. And a lot of you voted for the cream floral for the border. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, and I think that was a really good choice. Super excited about how that looks. So I am quilting that this afternoon after our video is done, and I'm going to, I think, use just an all-over kind of meandering quilt design, and I'm going to use invisible thread, which is kind of magical, but I don't want to take away from that really great mustard color or any of the prints. So I think the invisible thread is the way to go for the quilting on that. And I think I'm going to bind it with maybe the gold sparkle from Stardust. If you have a suggestion other than that, I would love to see it. Hi, Lisa. Teresa loves the giveaway. I'm so glad, you guys. Isn't it pretty for a bed runner, Cheryl? I really like it. And I think it'll be a nice combo if there's a lot of lighter colors in the quilt that's on the bed, then I can do things, you know, and really have it contrast. So I'm excited about that. Somehow in all my spare time, that is going to happen. Okay, so I have a sneak peek for you guys. I have a brand new collection coming out at the beginning of next year, so it'll be January of 2022, and I want to give you guys a sneak peek because we are getting to where shops that want to pre-order the fabric and make sure that it all comes in. So here's a little window into how fabric gets ordered. It's ordered way ahead of time, which you probably know, and there is a period of time when Riley Blake looks at all the orders and they kind of based on what the pre-orders are, and then they ordered a whole bunch extra to make sure that shops that don't find out about the collection still can get it. But if you're ordering before what they call last call, then it's 100% guaranteed that they'll be able to get it in. If the shop doesn't find out about it till after last call, then they have to just kind of take whatever Riley Blake orders extra. And they always order extra. There's lots of orders after the fact, but it's a good guarantee. And it's a good way for a shop to kind of have an insight into what people are excited about. If they hear about a collection ahead of time, that lets them know that it'll do well for them, and they'll go ahead and order it, and order lots of it, hopefully. So the last call for this collection is coming up in about a week. It's at the end of August, and so I wanted to give you guys a peek. If you like it, I would love for you to talk to your favorite shop about getting it in, and I'm going to show you the quilts that I designed to go with it too. So let me switch cameras and show you a little sneak peek. Well, it's not even a sneak peek, but you get an early look at Enchanted Meadow. So let me get my mouse here. Okay, so let me scooch this over here a little bit. Enchanted Meadow, and I'm gonna have to move over because I'm not on the camera. Enchanted Meadow is kind of a tribute to my love for forest stories. I'm a big reader. I love reading, and I love books with story. I mean, so many of the books that I love have woodland, forests, that sort of thing. I think like C.S. Lewis, all the Narnia books, Harry Potter, of course, Alice in Wonderland, she's kind of in the woods, but it always makes me think of woods. So those kinds of books. So this is my collection to kind of show how much I love those things. So I wanted to show you some of the prints. The main print is a floral. It's very similar. It's my style of floral, kind of a vintagey look. But the thing that I love about this one is that there's these pine needles. It has a little bit more of a woodland look with the pine elements in it. And I'm going to hold it up a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better the details in that floral. So it comes in a pink, and we're adding some fun colors into this collection. It comes in this great like aqua songbird blue. These are my strike offs, but these colors are pretty set as far as, I think we're pretty happy with this. And then it comes in this great denim color. And you can really see those pine needles and pine details in that. Isn't that fun? And I would love to see what you guys think. So feel free to chime in with what you think as we go. So that is the main print, those florals. Then I have taken a lot of my little woodland creatures that I've designed over the years. Several of these are in needle minder form, and there's a print called Forest Friends. And so it's a very floral print. If you're not super into animals, I don't think they'll drive you crazy. They're not huge, but they are really cute for fussy cutting, and you'll get these little peeks as you're looking at the fabric of the different animals. So there's deers, there's bunnies, there's little hedgehogs, there's a little fox, of course, and a little stump with a tree, or a bird, stump with a tree. So this comes in denim, this really great kind of light grass green. It's hard to see with the reflection, but there you go, that you can kind of tell. And then it comes in this great songbird color. And we're going to get a few new needle minders with this collection as well. I'm excited about that. We're going to have the fox, and we already have the deer, and we have the hedgie, of course, but we're going to also get a little bunny, and we're going to have this little trunk with the birdie on top of it. So you can kind of see the details of that a little bit better. So this is a really fun print, and I'm excited about that one. It's going to be fun for fussy cutting, but it's just cute floral too. Allison likes the hedgehogs. Yay! Rosemary, you're doing great. Good job. So this is a coordinating kind of pine needle print. I only have 2 colors of this. So this will come in the pink, and you can see there's pine needles and then just a little spray of berries. And then it comes in a cream color, which is going to make a really nice like background, or it would be really pretty just as an extra, as a backing, anything like that. And then that also comes in the songbird fabric. I don't have that. Then I have a sweet little floral. There's little, kind of almost like little pearl rings around there. Kind of make me think of weddings. I don't know why. But it's a cute little bouquet floral. That comes in the pink, comes in the denim color, and then it comes in a great cream color. Isn't that fun? Thanks, Teresa. And then there's another print that is a stripe floral print. Oh, here we go. So this is a denim, and I took almost like a running stitch print through here when I designed it. So I have these little florals, but then throughout the whole thing are these little stripes that almost have like a stitch look to them. So I'm pretty excited about that. So that comes in denim, comes in green, and it comes in this great kind of corally pink. You can see the stripes. Then one of my most I'm excited about is this great houndstooth. It's a really retro houndstooth. I designed it after a polyester jumpsuit that my mom wore all the time when we were kids. I was obsessed with it, and we had so much fabric that she made us like Barbie doll clothes and doll clothes out of it. It was great. So it was super fabulous. My mom made a lot of our clothes and our doll things and her clothes and all. She's super talented. So I have this in denim, and then it's in this great like teal green, and then it's in like a pink, light pink and dark pink. So that one's a really fun one. And I have a great dot print. It is super subtle. You can see they're real tiny dots, so it'll be great for backgrounds. Comes in pink, this songbird with navy dots, and then a lighter pink. And we have the last print is a little mushroom plaid. So it almost looks like an Irish chain, but then in the middle of each Irish chain is this darling little mushroom thing, and it looks almost like it's in an embroidery hoop. Let me show you on the green. It might be a little bit easier to see. So really cute little plaid there with the little mushrooms, and that comes in this great wine color print too. So those are all the prints for Enchanted Meadow, and now I'm going to give you a little peek at the quilts. So these are the quilts that I designed to go with them. There are 4, well 3, one is, and then a new colorway for the tea rose. So the top left one is called A Walk in the Woods. You guys, I'm not even going to remember all the names for these, but I know that the one we're doing is Sew Along is A Walk in the Woods. That's the top left, and it's got the churn dash in the center, and then kind of the churn dash border, and then it goes into the trees all around it. So it's supposed to look like kind of a garden path in the woods. It's going to be really fun, and we're going to sew that one up together starting in February. And then the other 3 are coordinating. They all have the Enchanted Meadow fabrics. The one that is the bottom right is the tea rose quilt. A lot of you have made that up. So this is just showing it in Enchanted Meadow. And I will have more information, of course, about all of these. But I just wanted to kind of give you a peek at what is coming up. So that kind of gives you a little insight into how fabric designing works. Everything has to be done so much earlier. Those fabrics have all been done for about a year, I think. I'm trying to remember when I turned all that in, at least a year. So it's kind of a funny thing, like how far ahead you have to work, and then by it comes out, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that fabric. I liked it. So it's a funny thing, but I certainly wouldn't trade it for anything. It's definitely a dream to do, and you guys are always so supportive, and I appreciate that. So if you would love to help me out and you loved Enchanted Meadow, then talk to your local quilt shop. You can email your favorite online shop. They love getting tips about what kinds of fabrics you're excited about. Nobody hates that. So, and there's also several places that do kind of the, well, like I know Fat Quarter Shop has you can look ahead and see fabric collections that they have coming, and you can click that little email me to be notified. That lets you know when it's in stock, but it also lets the shop know, hey, all these people are really excited about this collection, maybe we should order more. So, which is funny but true. So all that would help me out so much if you like Enchanted Meadow and you're excited about it and you want to sew along with any of those quilts, then talk to your local quilt shops about that. So that is the big exciting news for today. So let's sew our cute little camper blocks. And if you're just now tuning in, we are making up the camper blocks for row 4. These are really cute and fun, but I have also designed a free pattern that you can sub out for the camper blocks, and you can sub out for all of them, or you can just do some of them. But this little house block is the exact same size as the camper block. So if you would rather not go on an adventure and you want to stay home for Christmas, then you can change it out for these home blocks. That's linked in today's video description. You can check it out on the blog. There's a free little PDF. I'm not going to sew through this house block today, but if you get stuck on anything, let me know, and I'm happy to help you out always. So let's dive into our camper blocks because they're going to take us a while. So let me get myself a little situated here, and then we will move everything around. Okay. We are going to be making up our blocks. I'm going to scooch everything over here so you guys can see and make sure we're straight, because it really drives me nuts when the camera is not straight on the grid of the cutting mat. It's ridiculous, but that's how I feel about it. So I want to make sure you guys can see. If I'm ever and you can't see anything, let me know, holler. I'll try and go back and show you again. Shirley likes the Walk in the Woods quilt. Yay, Shirley, I'm so glad. Oh, good. I'm so glad you guys are excited about the patterns. That means so much to me. Thank you for that. It really helps me out, and it makes me super excited that you guys are excited about that. So yay. All right. Okay, let's get started. So this is one of those weeks when all of your little alphabeties are going to come in handy, because there are so many pieces. Well, I don't want to freak you out. There are lots of pieces, and there are lots to keep straight with this quilt. And so I've kind of got them all here. They're all over the place. So we're just going to dive in and start. I have prepped a few of these, but not all. So it's going to take us a little bit. So you're going to take your A piece, and we are going to place a Q background piece, which is right here, on the top side of this piece. And we're just going to go ahead and place it here. You're going to draw a diagonal line from the bottom left corner to the top right. Now keep in mind, I've got my little lasers, so I'm not going to do that, but you're going to sew on what is this imaginary marked line here. And don't hesitate to go ahead and mark those lines. I know they take a little while extra, but it's worth it, because it's easy to say, oh, I can eye this all the way across, but it's kind of tricky to do. Especially, it's not so hard when you're working with a piece that is 1 inch wide or 1 1/4 inches wide, but when you're working with a piece that's 4 inches wide or something like that, and you've kind of gotten into the habit of not marking that, you're going to have a diagonal line that goes wonky on you. So we don't want that. So I've stitched here. You can see I started at the bottom left and went to the top right, and I went diagonal. Now I'm going to trim this portion off, and I'm using my handy dandy little rotating mat that is for today's giveaway. Not yours, I have my own. I bought you a new one so that yours doesn't have wonky little cuts all over it, because you guys know I cut all over the place. Who follows the ruler things on the bottom? Not me. So now I've trimmed it. This is how it looks. Sometimes this camera that is our top-down camera gets a little it gets a little choppy, so I apologize if that happens. And we're going to press this open. Sometimes I think it looks a little bit like a horror You know how in horror movies, which I don't watch, but you know how sometimes there'll be something and then it skips real fast to the next part? That's what I always think. So that picture's now in your head. I don't know why. So here is our A piece and our Q piece, and they are all put together. So we're going to put that to the side. You're going to do the same thing with a C and a Q piece, and I have already done that one. It's the exact same method. This is the C piece, this is the other Q piece, and I did the diagonal line this way, just like the pattern shows, and I already stitched that because it would take us forever if I did all these. So these are the side pieces of your camper. That's this piece right here and this piece. So now we are going to sew those together with a Q piece in between them. And I am using a directional fabric for the stripe on my camper on this one. So I'm just making sure that my little bicycle pieces are facing the right way. So now I'm going to sew these three pieces together. How are you guys doing? I saw we have Hope Daniels in the group that's already finished everything on her quilt except for her outer borders, which I think is very impressive. And I'm super excited about it. Has anybody started their camper blocks yet? I would love to know how you're doing. So here's this one. Oh, let's talk about trips. Have you guys taken a trip at Christmas time? And if you have, I would love to know what your favorite trip is. Let's talk about that. We go every year, well, most years we go to Arizona because a lot of our family still lives there. So we tend to do that. When our kids were younger, we did road trips because we couldn't afford to pay for all of us to have airfare. It's a little bit easier now that they're on there, and we're flying a little bit more now that they're kind of more independent. But so you can see that that's all sewn together, and now I'm going to press. And your pressing instructions are in the pattern as well. So if you need to reference those, they're there. That's what those little arrows on the quilt are. I just knocked off my my spray starch, so this will not be starched. It's now on the floor behind the couch. So here is our side piece of our cute little camper. So now we're going to place our M piece, which is our door, and we're going to sew the B piece on top of that. This is we're making the next section, which is the door section of our camper. So that's this right here. So if you want to do any fussy cutting, or if you want your door to be a certain fabric that's different, you don't have to make your doors all the same. I did for continuity, and I really like this little gold star print, but you don't have to do it that way. You can make your doors any prints you'd like. If you have the Christmas Adventure little text print on white, that would be really cute for your doors and windows as well. We don't use much of that in this quilt. I'm trying to think where I did use it, if I did at all. So this is the B print piece and the M print piece. So you could change out your camper fabric. Instead of this gold print, you could use that text print, and it would still pop really well because of that white background, but it would give you a little bit more. You could fussy cut the cute phrases or something like that, you know, have it say ho 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 in the window, or joy, or something like that. So now we have the door and piece over here. We're going to set this to the side, and we're going to keep piecing our quilt top together. I'm going to sneeze, you guys. Hopefully not. Oh, hey, Hannah's here from Denmark over on YouTube. Hey, welcome. Wendy just cut out your campers today. That's so great. Leslie used to drive to Spokane every year for Christmas. Oh, that's awesome. Susanna likes the house pattern. Hey, Stephanie. Yay, I'm so glad. I think I missed a comment up here. I just want to make sure. Oh, Cheryl, my fabric in the Sew Sampler box would be amazing. Feel free to send Fat Quarter Shop an email and tell them that. That would be just the best. I did have, my first collection was Christmas Vintage Adventure, and it was in the Sew Sampler box. So that was really exciting for me. It was like a mini jelly roll, so a half-size jelly roll, and there was a really cute quilt that went with it. But that was several years ago. So that was a fun one. But feel free to give them that idea. Marty, my Facebook page is Flamingo Toes. So if you go to facebook.com/Flamingo Toes, you can find it. Super easy. Okay, so now we are going to piece together the window area. So I am going to sew the F piece on the bottom of the window, which is the N piece. And again, you can do some fussy cutting with that one if you like the text print, or if you're using a different print, or if you just have a cute Christmas print that you like. Even if you're sewing with Christmas Adventure, you could find a cute print that has like a little Santa Claus on it or something like that, and use a different collection that has an element that you like for the windows or doors. I know Christopher Thompson has a really great Christmas collection out this year, and Melissa Mortensen had one last year. They had really sweet little Santas, different things like that. So something like that would be really cute in this window. So we are going to press this. I'm just making sure I have my pressing instructions correct. So we're pressing down there. So now I'm going to put the D print, and you can see how handy these little letters are. So I'm going to put the D print on the left side. And we're just plugging right along here with this one. And you can fussy cut this if you want to sew up all of your campers at the same time. So, and there's only 5 of them. So you can sew all of your windows together, all of your doors together, that kind of thing, and then piece them as you go. It keeps it from getting too detailed all over one camper. But if you want to keep your fabrics separate a little bit easier, then you can do it separate. It's whatever works best for you. So there's the little piece on the side of the window. We're going to press that. And then we're going to sew an E piece above it. So that goes right here. So you can see how it puts together kind of like a little puzzle. And as long as you're following your letters, everything fits together really well. I'm just doing a little sewing. This is also a good one to make sure you are checking your 1/4 inch seam allowances, because there's several pieces that go together. If your seam allowance is off, then it's easy for the rest of the pieces to not fit together as well. So now we're going to press this one down. This is the little top piece. And again, I said I like to spray starch these. They lay a little bit nicer, but we don't have, I lost it. It's on the floor. And so now we are going to do the R and I pieces. So this is an R background piece. I went ahead and already did the stitch and flip in this corner, and you can see on a bigger seam like this how it would be easy if you're just eyeballing it to not have that seam be straight. So you don't want to do that. Make sure you take the time to mark that line first and then go ahead and do your stitch and flip. So this is the I piece and the R background piece, and they fit like this right here. So now we're doing this back section. We piece together this piece right here, and then this is the RI piece, and so now we're going to sew these two together. Super easy and fun. And you want those to line up nicely so that everybody plays together well. And this kind of finishes off the top half of the camper. So even though there are several little pieces, you can see that it goes together. We've done this in about 15 minutes is this section so far. So it really goes together pretty quickly. So this is the top portion, the top back of the camper. So we're going to go ahead and press that. And then we're going to start working on the bottom of the camper. Let me make sure I'm not missing any questions. Let's see. Okay, will there be another quilt after this, quilt along after this one? Yes, I am going to do one near the holidays, but we're going to make a little bit smaller project. So, because I know the holidays are busy, and I have a secret sewing that I'm doing through October, so I can't start anything until after that. But there will be videos during that time. So I'm still going to be doing videos. We're going to be doing smaller projects, like maybe an ornament or things like that. And then we'll do like a small quilt along project through like November, and then I'll take some time off, and then we'll start up again in February, but I'll still have videos throughout all that time period. We'll still be doing small projects, but just a full big quilt along will be in the next, will be after that, will be in February. So I hope that answers your question. So yes, there will always be something going on. So this is the camper. Oh, let's see. Jan said she did an applique one a few years ago, and this one is easier. Well, I'm glad you think so, Jan. I would love to see your applique one, though. If you post a photo in the group, that would be super fun. I would love that. Okay, so now we're going to set this aside, and we're going to work on our wheels. So I've gone ahead and done the stitch and flip for the O and H pieces. This is the exact same method that we did at the beginning. You know, you sew, cut, flip. But this is time consuming, so I didn't want to take up all the time to do that. So now I have this piece, which is the top of the tire. You can see it right here. You can see that right there, and we're going to go ahead and sew the G piece on top of that. Erin, thanks for telling Marty the name of the Facebook group. Did you just hop on, Erin? You are this week's or last week's winner. So you won the bag of the cute pin bag and the charm packs, not charm packs, 5-inch stackers, and the flamingo stiletto and the unicorn pins. So send me an email. You're the big winner, Erin. Yay! So now I have this piece on, and I'm going to press. And you can see how that piece was pointed, but once I sewed the seam on, it kind of took off the top of that tire point and made it so that it was a little bit more rounded. That's going to happen on the bottom of your tires too. You can see that they're pointy on the bottom, and that looks odd. I hate that. But once we sew that sashing on there, it's going to take off that 1/4 of an inch, and it's going to round out that tire a little bit more so that you have it looking like this on the top. So that's what that is doing. So if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, it's pointy and I don't know why, then we'll take care of that with the sashing. And that's the same with the top of your camper. You can see on my block, the top of the camper kind of sticks up oddly. Above, it sticks up a 1/4 of an inch above the pieces. We're going to be sewing right along there a 1/4 of an inch, and so once we do that, then it'll take off that top edge and your camper will look straight and even on the top. So don't worry about that. You can see on my campers, if I lean out of the way, you can see that they look correct. Because of this sashing right here, it takes care of that. So don't worry about that. If you're new to quilting, that will take care of it. So this is the top of the tire. Now we're going to sew a C piece on here on the left side. And we are just plugging along here, you guys. My air conditioner is not working super awesome today. It is hot in here, and I'm in a long sleeve sweater. Okay, so there is that, and now we have the portion around the tire. We're going to press. And we have one more piece to make up the bottom portion, and that is the J piece. And you can see I've already done the stitch and flip background that takes off the bottom corner. And this is a Q piece. So this is Q, this is J, and I've already done that. So this goes on the right side of the wheel section. So we're going to just go ahead and sew that in place. And that, along with the stripe, makes up the bottom half of the camper. Okay, so here you can see where we are. This is the bottom section, and I'm going to show you. This is this section right here that we've sewn. So we still have to piece together the bottom half of the tire, but we've done this part right here. So now we're going to sew on our stripe. And that, for this green one, I did this lighter green bicycle print as my stripe. And you could see that you want to use the same print that's on the front section of the camper as on the back section, because you want that stripe to look like it's going all the way down the camper. So that's why you want your, let me look, K and L pieces to be the same. And I put that in bold on your pattern so that it's easy to catch. And if you didn't catch it, it's not the end of the world. This little piece is pretty small, so you should be able to still get it out there. But that's the way that stripe looks all the same, just like it would on a real camper. So now we're sewing this in place. This is again our stripe on the back half. Pam, you've never sewn a camper before? Jan, I do not use steam. I use a spray starch called Flatter, and it's by Soak. And then I am going to get, I did put steam in there for a while, but I just don't like having to, I don't like keeping water in my iron, and I don't like taking the time to empty it every time. I use my iron every day, and it's just kind of a hassle when it's not in use to empty that water. So I am going to, I have on order one of those great mister bottles that Riley Blake makes. And so I'm going to order one of those for when I do want water, but most of the time I just use the spray starch. So you can see our little camper is starting to piece together. So here's what it's looking like. Isn't it so cute? So now we are going to go ahead, before we sew all this together, we're going to piece the bottom portion of our tire together. So I've done this also. These are the S and P pieces. This is pretty small. Make sure you've cut it out accurately, or else you're going to feel like it's kind of wonky. And this is our bottom tire print. This is O and T pieces. And I've already pieced that together. Again, it's that same stitch and flip that we did at the very beginning. So now I'm going to go ahead and sew the middle portion to the bottom portion. And again, this is the middle portion. This is the bottom portion. So these are the two pieces we're sewing together. And I'm going to take a drink. I am drinking jelly donut coffee today. It's one of my favorites. I don't eat a lot of dessert, so I have to have it in my coffee. I take it where I can get it. So now we've sewn that in place, and I'm going to press. And then we'll sew the background pieces on either side. These background pieces are two different lengths, so make sure you keep them labeled. You want the longer one, which is the U piece. Let me get this on camera so you can actually see it. The U piece on the left and the V piece on the right. So we need more background on the front, and then this is towards the back of the camper. So we are going to sew this in place now. And this is the bottom portion of the camper. Just that area around the tire. So I'm going to do the U piece first. You can see how cute that looks. And then I did the V piece next. Well, I didn't cut my thread. You guys hanging in there okay? Everybody doing good? So here is how our little tire looks. This is the bottom. And again, that little point will be fine once we put the sashing in. Okay, now we got to turn the page on the pattern, and we're going to start assembling. So we're going to take the left and the far left side and the door, and we're going to piece those together. You don't have to do it in this order. You can do it however you would like. You can, if you want to sew the door in place as soon as you finish it, you can do that. This is just a kind of how I wrote it, but feel free to piece it together however you feel like it's easiest. There's no set rules on this. I would put the pieces together in order as far as piecing each section, But once you have the sections piece, then feel free to sew as you need to. I love it when people kind of make things their own. So now we've sewn the far left side to the door piece. And we're pressing. And now we are going to, so you can see how cute that looks. So now I'm going to sew the top and bottom sections of the back of the camper together. I have some fun things coming up that I'm going to share with you guys next week, wherein we do our ornament week. That's going to be such a fast week, but I have 2 brand new cross stitch patterns coming out in the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to give you a little peek at those next week. One of them goes beautifully with this quilt. I think you guys are going to love it. And the other one is patriotic, which just got done a little bit too late, but it's always a good idea to be patriotic, and you could make it up for Veterans Day or something like that. It goes perfectly with the little patriotic needle minder, and it is the last in my, well, last so far in my little patriotic cross stitch series. So now we have the back half and the front half of the camper, and we are going to sew those together. Super easy. Well, even if it's not easy, hopefully it's makes sense to you. I don't want to ever say anything that makes anybody feel like they're struggling out of proportion with anybody else. So I take the super easy back. But hopefully the videos make it easier. And if not, that you kind of let me know that you guys have questions. Okay, so now we have our camper all pieced together. I'm going to press that one section, and then we're going to sew the bottom of our wheel well on. With as many pieces as this little camper has, I do like to press on the back side and then flip it over and press on the front. I feel like it helps those seams to lay down a little bit better. And I am using my tailor's clapper. You can get these lots of places. I really like this size for Riley Blake. So what it is the wood, if you've never used one, the wood kind of absorbs the heat. So you press your block, make sure everything's laying the way you want, and then you set your clapper on it and you kind of press down, and with the heat of the wood absorbing into the wood, it helps to flatten those seams even more, especially where there's lots of bulk. And I like to use it on my wool mat, so it gives it kind of a cushion, but it's a nice firm surface to kind of press into, and it really helps your blocks lay flatter. So I did use this with this block. I also used it on my Kaleidoscope blocks because there were so many pieces in that it was making me crazy. So now you can see we're going to go ahead and put the bottom of our tire in place. You do want to make sure that your tire is matching up with the top tire. That's the most important part. If you have to trim off a little sashing on each end, you can do that, but you do want that tire to line up. And I am not pinning mine. I'm just going crazy here, but hopefully they match up. Normally I would be pinning, but for some reason I seem to forget to bring them over for my videos every time. I need to keep some pins over here, but my sewing machine is not normally here. I bring it over for the videos, and normally it's right over there on my sewing table. Oh, it's not too bad. We can fix it later. So anyway, here is the cute little tire, and you can see that it matches up pretty well. I also don't fuss too much about that kind of thing. By the time that you guys see the tire, you know, on the quilt, it doesn't have to be perfect. So I feel strongly about that. So now I'm going to press my little tire piece in place, and that finishes off the camper block. So you can see how cute and fun they are. Here's the campers. So you'll need 5 of these. And I'm just going to take a minute real quick and talk about the house block. It is pieced together very similarly. So you're going to want to sew the bottom onto the window piece. Then you're going to sew the pieces on either side and then the door. Then you're going to put this piece on, which goes over the doors and windows. And then you're going to round out the bottom portion of the house with this piece. And you'll go ahead and sew your sashing on. These two pieces are stitch and flip corners for the roof, so just like we did with the camper. So you'll do these and then sew your roof in place, and then you can piece together your chimney section. This is, I did do a little bit of fussy cutting with this cute chimney piece. So it'll have the little bicycle up there. And you can put your chimney on either side of your house. These two background pieces, if you sew the long one on first, then your chimney will be more on this side, and then you'll have the short background piece. You can sew it either place, or if you want to cut your sashing and have it direct. I just don't like it directly in the center. I like it on one side or the other. So that is that. You can flip where you would like your chimney. You can either have it here or over here just by flipping these two background pieces. And that's all that is to that. And again, as I said, this is the exact same size as the camper block. And so you would change it out. You would cut the exact same piece for, I'm going to scooch over here just a little bit. Okay, you will cut the exact same pieces for your sashing and your end pieces for the quilt as you do for the camper if you want to make those houses. And if you want to sub out just 2 or 3 of the campers and make the houses, again, the same thing. You're going to do the exact same size sashing that you would for the campers. You don't have to worry about anything else. Just remember to keep in mind that you might need different fabric amounts if you are going to use the house based on what is coming up later. So just keep an eye on what you want to use for your presents and your trees and that kind of thing, and cut your fabric out accordingly. But it should be okay. There's some give in those fabric amounts in the fat quarters, especially if you're using the kit. So that is the camper blocks this week. I hope you guys had fun. If you have questions about them, definitely leave a comment on either this video. You can leave a comment on YouTube or on Facebook, or you can always email me, bev@flamingotoes.com. I hope you guys liked Enchanted Meadow. If you did, feel free to, I would love it if you contacted your local shop or your favorite online shop and said that you're excited about it. That would help me out so much. And so coming up this week, tomorrow there will be another building blocks release for the Riley Blake learning quilt that we're making. That is a really pretty one. It's a log cabin, so I'm super excited to do that. So I will have my version of that hopefully up Wednesday, but we are going to Arizona on Thursday, and so I have a lot to get done in the next 3 days. So fingers crossed. If not, it'll be up early next week. And since there's 2 weeks between every block, that works out really nice. And I will also be sharing my finished Kaleidoscope Runner, quilted and everything, on Friday, so look forward to that. I hope you guys have a really nice week. I hope it's nice where you are. I'm ready for summer to be over. Hopefully fall soon. So thanks for sewing along with me. It means a lot to me, you guys. I will talk to you soon. Have a great week.